Welcome back. In the last class, we have discussed about contraceptive methods. 3 contraceptive methods we have discussed. Those 3 contraceptive methods. First one is natural methods we have discussed. Natural methods. And second one is IUDs. Second one, barrier methods we have discussed. Barriers. And third one is IUDs, intrauterine devices. Natural methods, and second one is barrier methods, and third one is IUDs, intrauterine devices. About these 3 we have discussed, and the fourth one is implants. Now let us discuss about implants. Implants are under the skin in the forearm. At the forearm, under the skin, 6 matchstick-like structures, like this 6 matchstick-like structures are kept under the skin in the forearm. In the place of this forearm, upper arm, in the place of upper arm, under the skin, 6 matchsticks-like structures will be inserted by the doctors. So these are called implants. These are made up of progesterone. These are made up of progesterone and estrogen. These are made up of estrogen. They will release, these implants release estrogen and progesterone in a large amount, so that ovulation and pregnancy will be prevented by these implants. So that is about implants. Next, fifth one is pills. Pills are contraceptive methods. Pills are chemical contraceptive methods, mostly from the Amur forest. Amur forest from the Switzerland. Amur forest from the Switzerland. The Amur forests from the Switzerland, the chemical composition related to pills will be taken. The chemical composition related to pills is taken from the Amur forest of Switzerland. Amur forest of Switzerland. Amur forest of Switzerland. So from this forest, the chemical composition requires to pills is taken. Pills are made up of estrogen and progesterone only. They will increase the estrogen and progesterone hormone level in the body, so that there will be no ovulation, and they will prevent ovulation and implantation. Pills prevent ovulation and implantation. Pills prevent ovulation and implantation. Pills prevent ovulation and implantation. That is the function of pills. Pills prevent ovulation and implantation. So that pills control the pregnancy. And pills, once in a week contraceptive pill in India is CRDI developed. CRDI, Central Drug, CDRI, Central Drug Research Institute. CDRI full form is Central Drug Research Institute developed a new drug called Saheli. This is once in a week contraceptive pill. This is a once in a week contraceptive pill. Once in a week contraceptive pill. So this once in a week contraceptive pill, the composition is made up of centichromane. Very, very important. The composition of the chemical composition of Saheli is centichromane. The chemical composition of Saheli is centichromane. Centichromane is the chemical composition of Saheli, and Saheli is developed in India. It is a once in a week contraceptive pill in India. This is Saheli is once in a week contraceptive pill in India. Then what is once in a week contraceptive pill? Generally the pills have to be taken. The pills have to be taken after 5 days after menstruation. 5 days after menstruation till it has to continue 21 days. For example, one female gets menstruation today, for example. From this day, after 5 days onwards, she has to start taking pills, and she has to take the pill continuously up to 21 days to prevent pregnancy. To prevent pregnancy, a female has to take pills 5 days after menstruation daily up to 21 days. That is pills. So next, in some of the pills are there, when copulation is over, within 48 to 72 hours, within 48 to 72 hours they have to take. Then they will prevent formation of zygote. They will prevent the pregnancy. So that is another type of pills. And these type of pills are different. Saheli is once in a week contraceptive pill in India. Once in a week contraceptive pill in India, proposed by or prepared by CDRI, Central Drug Research Institute. Saheli chemical composition is centichromane. The chemical composition of Saheli is centichromane. So that is about pills. How pills control pregnancy, how pills avoid pregnancy. Pills prevent ovulation and implantation. Once before ovum releases, they will prevent ovulation. Once ovum is released, then they will prevent implantation. Pills prevent either ovulation or implantation. So pills used in this way. Next, surgical methods let us see. Now let us go for surgical methods. In the surgical methods, the first one is cutting of vas deferens. This process is called vasectomy. Tomy means cutting. Tomy means cutting. Vas deferens. Vasectomy, vas deferens, cutting. So cutting of vas deferens and tied separately. Here vas deferens is cut down like this, and they will be tied in reverse way like this. They will be tied in a reverse way like this, so that when they are tied like this, then there will be no chance of passing of sperm cells. The sperm cells produced in this testis, the sperm cells will come in this way, and the sperm, there will be no connectivity. Here also what happens, cutting and some part is removed, and they will be tied separately like this. So when they are tied separately like this, then there will be no connectivity to pass the sperm. So sperm cells will formed in this place. The sperm cells are formed in this place, they will come up to here only, and later there will be no connection, so that they cannot come into urethra. This is urethra, right? So this is urethra. Inside the urethra they cannot come, sperm cells cannot come. But this is seminal vesicle, and this is prostate gland. This is seminal vesicle, and this is prostate gland, and this is bulbourethral gland. Seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and bulbourethral gland. All these glands, they will secrete their secretions, so that some amount of fluid only will come through this. Some amount of fluid will come, so that the semen does not contain sperm cells. The semen contains only seminal fluid. The fluid doesn't contain any sperm cells. So this is the procedure, vasectomy. Cutting off some amount of vas deferens, cutting off some part of vas deferens, and tying separately by making some incision inside the scrotum. Inside the scrotum, some cutting they will do, and from this cut they will cut the vas deferens, and both will be separated. And some part of vas deferens is removed, and both ends will be tied separately. This is called vasectomy. So because of this vasectomy, there will be no connection of sperm cells cannot reach this place, so that the sperm cells will be disintegrated here only, in this place only, in the male reproductive system itself. In the male reproductive system itself, inside the vas deferens only, the sperm cells will be disintegrated, so that they cannot come up to here. But remaining all these seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and bulbourethral gland, all these things, they will produce their secretions. But during the time of copulation, the sperm cells will not be released. Semen released only with seminal fluid. Fluid only will come. There will be no sperm cells, so that there will be no pregnancy. That is vasectomy. This is only for males, vasectomy. Next, let us go for tubectomy. This is tubectomy. In tubectomy also same TOM tube, oviducts. These tubes. The tubes have to be separated and cut like this. And some part of fallopian tube is removed. And some part of fallopian tube is removed and tied separately. Some part of vas deferens is removed, and they will be tied separately like this. Some part of vas deferens is removed, and they will be tied separately like this. This is some part of vas deferens is removed and both will be tied separately. This is called what? Tubectomy. In the tubectomy, some part of vas deferens is removed by making a small incision in abdomen cavity. In the abdomen cavity, for the females in the family planning operation, in the abdomen they will make the cut. But in the case of males, family planning operation, in the family planning operation of males, what happens in the scrotum? They will make some incision. So with that incision, what happens? With that incision, vasectomy, vas deferens will be cut down. Vas deferens will be cut down and tied separately. So these are the two steps, these are the two processes we can see in surgical methods. But in the case of surgical methods, reversibility is very poor. But IUDs, let us take, in the IUDs, when the female is using IUD, as long as she uses IUD, she will not get a pregnancy. But once, if they stop using IUDs, they will get pregnancy back normally. But in the case of these two, reversibility is very poor. So that is, these are vasectomy and tubectomy. These are the permanent methods, also known as surgical methods. And these are the permanent methods. There will be very less reversibility, very less chances for reversibility. Now, characters of ideal contraceptives. This is very, very important. 2 marks or 3 marks question. First, let us see what are the ideal contraceptive characters. First one is, the contraceptive should be easily available in the market. A contraceptive should be easily available in the market. And second one is user friendly and reversible. An ideal contraceptive should be user friendly and reversible, and it has least side effects or no side effects. It should be user friendly and reversible. Reversible means what? If they stop using it, they should get children again. If they are using it, they should not get pregnancy. If they stop using it, and they should normally get the children. So that is called reversibility. They should be user friendly and reversible. User friendly means should not irritate. Whenever, for example, IUD, let us take. This IUD, whenever inside, it gives some irritation. So that irritation should not be given. They should feel like normal. So that is user friendly, and it should be reversible. Reversible means whenever they stop using it, they should get children normally. These IUDs are temporary, for temporary prevention of pregnancy. Permanently, if they want, they can go for surgical methods. Next, least side effects or no side effects. After using IUD, after using contraceptives, if they are having more side effects or if the health is trouble, that is, it is a problem. So that the ideal contraceptive should contain least side effects or very less side effects or no side effects. Next, it can be used by user herself. It can be used by user herself, because sometimes that females cannot go for maximum distances, and they cannot regularly go for hospitals. And in this case, the ideal contraceptive means the user herself can insert it, means that is better ideal, that is ideal contraceptive. Next, it should not interrupt in the coitus. If the female uses contraceptive, and that should not interfere with coitus process. The sexual contact should not be interfere. So if it is interfere, then no use of that ideal contraceptive. So compulsory, an ideal contraceptive should not interrupt coitus method. Next, it should be economic. It should be less costly, because regularly they have to use. Sometimes they have to use it for till some years, so that it should be less costly and economic. Medical termination of pregnancy, MTP. The full form is medical termination of pregnancy. Medical termination of pregnancy is given in the year 1971, and it is called as abortion, and it is different from miscarriage. Miscarriage means it is a natural process. Due to some genetical problems or physiological problems, the baby comes outside before gestation period. Before completion of the gestation period, sometimes the baby will die and come outside. So that is called miscarriage. That is miscarriage. But abortion means the baby will be killed inside the mother womb. The baby will be killed inside the mother womb. So before completion of gestation period, this process abortion before completion of gestation period or before first 3 months, within the first 3 months of the pregnancy, within the first 3 months, first 3 months of pregnancy is called first trimester. The first 3 months of pregnancy is called first trimester. Later second 3 months are called 0 to 3 months is called first trimester. 3 to 6 months, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, this is called second trimester. And next 6 to 9 months is called third trimester. So totally the total pregnancy can be divided into three trimesters: first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. 0 to 3 months is called what? First trimester. 3 to 6 months is called second trimester, and 6 to 9 months is called third trimester. The MTP is safe during this time only, because the MTP is safe in first trimester only, because during this time what happens, the uterus, the embryo will not be attached deeply to this uterus, but once the first trimester is completed, the embryo is deeply embedded inside the uterine tissue. Once the first trimester is completed, the uterus, inside the uterus, the embryo will be deeply embedded, deeply associated with uterine walls, so that removal of that embryo after third month is, or after first trimester, is very difficult, and it is risky to the mother, and it is risky to mother. This process is medical termination of pregnancy. So medical termination of pregnancy, many reasons are there for medical termination of pregnancy, but in some cases, in the mother, if any genetic problems are there in the baby cannot grow properly, so that such type of babies should not grow, so that with the suggestion of doctors, or with the suggestion of medical supervisors only, the pregnancy will be terminated. So that this is medical termination of pregnancy. In some cases, rarely, some cases, whoever don't want the children, in some, due to some other reasons also, the people may go for this medical termination of pregnancy. This is commonly what we know is abortion. But this abortion was legalized in 1971. It was legalized in 1971. Why it was legalized? Why MTP is legalized? Because sometimes the baby cannot grow. Sometimes the baby may not grow properly inside the womb. Such type of babies or such type of pregnancy should be terminated. Otherwise, it will be a problem to the baby and their parents also. If the baby is having some genetical defects, or if the baby is having some problems inside, then such type of babies, if they grow and born, that will be the problematic issue to the parents. So that in such pregnancies, the pregnancy has to be terminated. The pregnancy has to be terminated. This is medical termination of pregnancy, so that they have legalized in 1971. And the medical termination of pregnancy, or MTP, is generally safe in first trimester, not in second trimester. Why? Or MTP after first trimester, after completion of first trimester, is more risky. Why? That is the question. MTP after first trimester is highly risky. Why? That is question. Or generally MTP is safe before 1 month or within the first trimester, because within the first trimester the embryo is not deeply associated. The embryo will be gets attached with uterine wall, but within the second month of pregnancy, second trimester, when it is reached, then what happens? The embryo deeply associated with the embryo deeply associated with uterine tissue, so that removal of that deeply associated embryo is very difficult. That may be problematic to the mother also. So that MTP in the first month only safe, because first trimester only safe, because within the first 3 months the embryo will be lightly attached to uterine wall. After first trimester, the embryo is deeply associated with uterine wall, so that doing MTP after completion of first trimester is more risky to the mother. STDs. The full form of STDs is sexually transmitted diseases. Sexually transmitted diseases. These diseases were also called as venereal diseases. These are only also called venereal diseases. Sexually transmitted diseases. The diseases which are transmitted through sexual act are called sexually transmitted diseases. Through in the sexual transmitted diseases, first we can see some examples, that is syphilis. Syphilis is caused by Treponema pallidum. This is the bacterium which causes syphilis. Next one is gonorrhea. Gonorrhea is caused by Neisseria gonorrhea. Neisseria gonorrhea. So that is second one. Third one is chlamydiasis. Chlamydia bacterium. Next, trichomoniasis. And Trichomonas vaginalis. And next, genital herpes. Genital herpes is caused by herpes simplex virus. Herpes simplex virus. And AIDS caused by HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. And next one is genital warts. Genital warts is caused by HPV, human papilloma virus. HPV means human papilloma virus. And next one, hepatitis B. Hepatitis example, hepatitis virus. So these are the some examples for sexually transmitted diseases. First one is syphilis. The first three are the examples for bacterial diseases. These are caused by bacteria. The first three are examples for bacterial diseases, and this one especially, trichomoniasis, is caused by the one and only, this is sexually transmitted disease which is caused by protozoan. So this is protozoan causing disease. Chlamydia is bacterium, gonorrhea, Neisseria gonorrhea is a bacterium, Treponema pallidum is a bacterium. But Trichomonas vaginalis is an example for protozoan. Protozoan causing sexually transmitted disease which is caused by protozoan is trichomoniasis. The sexually transmitted disease which is caused by that is caused by protozoan is Trichomonas vaginalis. Next, genital herpes simplex virus. Genital herpes is caused by herpes simplex virus, and genital warts caused by human papilloma virus, and hepatitis virus. Among all these diseases, they are having medicines, but except genital herpes, AIDS, and hepatitis. So these are, we know already AIDS. However, AIDS is not having any disease. AIDS is not having any disease, any medicine, and hepatitis also not having any medicine. Including of these two, genital herpes also not having medicine. So this is completely not curable. This is completely not curable. Genital herpes is not completely curable. Among these, all these things, genital herpes and AIDS and hepatitis, these three disorders, they will never be completely curable. They will never be completely curable. These are the examples for sexually transmitted diseases. Mostly the people, those who are in between 15 to 25 years age only, in this age group only, the people are more vulnerable to sexually transmitted diseases, because this age, starting of adolescence, 15 years age means starting of adolescence, that 13 years adolescence will be started. So 15 years the sexual emotions will be started. So that because of these sexual emotions, the people will go for sexually contact. Sexually contact. So that because of these sexual contacts, they will have some sexual disorders. If they are having any sexual disorder, it will come to that easily, it will easily transmitted. So that during the unsafe sex, more chances are there for these type of disorders. So that is, first one is syphilis, which is caused by Treponema pallidum, and gonorrhea, it is caused by Neisseria gonorrhea, and chlamydiasis, it is caused by chlamydia, and protozoan sexually transmitted disease is trichomoniasis. Trichomoniasis is protozoan causing sexually transmitted disease. Trichomonas vaginalis causes trichomoniasis disorder. And genital herpes simplex virus. Genital herpes is caused by herpes simplex virus. AIDS, HIV, and genital warts. Genital warts are caused by HPV, human papilloma virus, and hepatitis is caused by hepatitis virus. Among all these things, genital herpes and AIDS and hepatitis, these are not completely curable. Then what are the measures to be taken for completion of, what are the measures to be taken for avoiding sexually transmitted diseases? The first one is unsafe sex. Avoiding unsafe sex with unknown personalities. Avoiding unsafe sex with unknowing personalities. So it is better to have one sexual partner in the life. That is the first one, important. The second one is while doing coitus, so it is necessary to wear condoms. It is necessary to wear condoms. First one, avoiding sex with multiple partners or unknown partners. Second one is using condoms during the time of sexual practice. And third one is, in the case of any doubt, immediately we must have to go for a hospital and must have to take proper diagnosis. So these are the things we need to follow to avoid sexually transmitted diseases. The sexually transmitted diseases are caused by, transmitted diseases are caused by sexual act, so that we should not have sex, multiple partners should not be there. Avoiding the sex with multiple partners, first one. Second one is, in the case of in the case of sexual act with unknown partner, it is better to use condoms. And third one is in the case of any doubt, we must have to go for hospital and we must have to take a proper diagnosis. These are the measures to be taken to avoid sexually transmitted diseases. Next, let us go for infertility. Infertility. What is infertility? Let us see. Infertility means inability of a couple to give birth to children. Inability of a couple to give birth to a baby, or inability of a couple to give birth to a baby is called infertility. Inability of a couple to give birth to a baby is called infertility. So infertility may have many reasons. The problems may be in the gents, means with the males. The problem may be in the females. Sometimes equally they may have the problems. In the most of the cases, males also having the problems and females also having the problems. So here our topic is not the reasons for infertility. So infertility are having many reasons are there. So that our topic is how to correct infertility. Infertility can be corrected with some techniques called artificial. These techniques are called artificial reproductive technologies. Artificial reproductive technologies. So these technologies, these artificial reproductive technologies are generally called short form ARTs. Artificial reproductive technologies. The methods which are used to correct infertility. The methods which are used to correct the infertility are called artificial reproductive technologies. What are these technologies in this? First, let us see IVF and ET. In this IVF and ET, in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. The first one is in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. Second one is ZIFT. Zygote intrafallopian transfer. And next one is third one is GIFT. That is gamete intrafallopian transfer. Zygote intrafallopian transfer. This is gamete intrafallopian transfer. And fourth one is ICSI. Intracytoplasm sperm injection. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So that is ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Fifth one is artificial insemination. These are the 5 methods. IVF and ET. The first one is IVF and ET. IVF and ET is also called in vitro fertilization and embryo transformation technique. And second one is ZIFT. Zygote intrafallopian transfer. Third one is GIFT, gamete intrafallopian transfer. Fourth one is ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection. What is the next? Let us see all these things later. And IAI, artificial insemination. Let us discuss about these things in detail. First, IVF and ET. In the in vitro fertilization, from a male, sperm is our husband or a healthy donor, male from a healthy donor or husband, the sperm is collected from the male. The male may be either husband or any other healthy donor. Or either husband. Next, and from the female, the egg cell will be collected and both will be undergone fertilization. Both will be undergo fertilization inside the laboratory, and after fertilization, what will form? Zygote will form. After fertilization, zygote will form. This zygote, within 8 cells, within 8 to 32 cells, it will be transformed to this zygote after converted into embryo within 8 to 32 cell stage. In this stage, then it will be shifted to uterus. This is called IVF and ET. IVF means what? In vitro. What is in vitro? If the fertilization takes place outside of the female's reproductive tract, naturally what happens? In human beings, fertilization, fusion of male and female gametes, fertilization takes place inside the female reproductive tract. During the copulation, the male releases the sperm into the vagina, and the sperm will go to uterus, and uterus to the fallopian tube. Inside the fallopian tube, isthmus ampulla junction. In the isthmus ampulla junction, fertilization occurs. The fertilization takes place in isthmus ampulla junction in female. But here what happens? IVF ET, in vitro fertilization, what happens? IVF, in vitro means outside. In vitro means outside, artificially takes place outside of the female body. If the fertilization takes place outside of the female's body, that is called in vitro fertilization. The in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer method is only also called test tube baby method. This method is also called test tube baby method. That is in vitro fertilization. In this method, from the male or husband or any healthy donor, the sperm is collected, and the wife or any other female, the egg will be collected. Both will be fused or both will be fertilized in laboratory or in outside. That is only in the test tube condition. In the laboratory, that's why it is called test tube condition, test tube baby, because the fertilization happens inside the laboratory in test tube. So that this is called test tube baby method. So that the sperm and egg cell will be fused and form zygote. The zygote later divide and form embryo. The embryo with 8 to 32 cell stays. The embryo with 8 to 32 cell stays will be transferred to uterus. This is called IVF and ET, in vitro fertilization and embryo transformation, which is also called test tube baby method. Next, let us go for ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian transfer. ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian transfer. Zygote intrafallopian transfer. Zygote intrafallopian transfer. Zygote intrafallopian transfer. In this process, what happens? Zygote is transferred to embryo. Sorry, zygote is transferred to fallopian tube. The zygote less than 8 cells. For example, less than 8 cells are there, means kept inside the fallopian tube, and more than 8 cells or 8 to 32 cells are there, means then it will be transferred to uterus. 8 to 32 cells are there, means it will be transferred to uterus or early embryo. Zygote or early embryo will be transferred to fallopian tube. Either zygote or early embryo will be transferred to fallopian tube. If that embryo is, for example, 8 to 32 cells is there, means then it will be transferred to uterus. That is ZIFT, GIFT. GIFT is involved in IVF and ET also. In the same IVF and ET, embryo transformation method we have seen. The same ZIFT method. If it is a zygote, it will be transferred in the fallopian tube. If it is embryo, then it will be transferred into uterus. That is zygote fallopian intrafallopian transfer. In this case also, fertilization takes place outside of the body. In vitro fertilization only happens here also. But this method directly zygote will be inserted into fallopian tube, that's all. That is, this method is involved in IVF ET also. This is the method in this IVF ET depends on ZIFT also. Next, GIFT. Some females, they cannot produce egg cells. Some females cannot produce egg cells, but they have their normal reproductive tract. If except gamete production, remaining all the things will be corrected, the remaining all the things and events will be correctly occurring in their female reproductive tract. But one and only the problem is they cannot produce the gametes, that's all. But remaining all the tract and remaining all the events are taking place quite normally. In such females, gamete is only not forming. So that if we take the gamete from any other, if we collect the gamete from any other healthy female and that gamete is inserted into her reproductive tract, then that is called GIFT, GIFT. In this case, fertilization. In this case, here listen carefully. In this case, the zygote, in this case, the egg cell is only cannot produced by the female. Remaining all events will be done inside her body only. Only gametogenesis does not occur. The egg cell will not be produced inside her body. Once egg cell is, if you have taken from any other female and inserted into her reproductive tract, then she will be able to produce a baby normally. This is GIFT, GIFT. So GIFT method is, when GIFT method is used, internal reproduction happens, and this method is not related to male. This method is not at all related to male. This method is completely related to female. When female is not able to produce gametes or egg cells, then in such females, the eggshell should be taken from other female and that egg is kept inside the reproductive tract of this female. Then this female can produce a normal baby. Why? Because she cannot produce egg. Remaining all events, all structures in her reproductive tract are quite normal, but she is not able to producing egg. That we are donating, that's all. Next, ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. If you take one egg, inside the egg cytoplasm, with a small injections, the sperm will be directly injected into cytoplasm of the egg. Taking one egg or ovum, inside the egg or ovum, the sperm will be injected inside injected into cytoplasm of the egg. Thus, in this process, intracytoplasmic, this is gamete intrafallopian tube, gamete intrafallopian transfer, this is, and this is ICSC, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, ICSI. In this, one egg cell we have to take, the egg cell contains nucleus and cytoplasm. Directly inside its cytoplasm, we have to inject the sperm cell. That is in ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Next, AI. AI is artificial insemination. AI is artificial insemination. The artificial insemination means where the male cannot produce sperm cells. In some males, they cannot produce the sperm cells normally, or the sperm motility is not correct, or sometimes some cases low sperm count will be there. Low sperm count will be there, or some of the males cannot produce sperm cells. Their motility is very less. We have discussed in the human reproductive lesson that is at least 60% of the sperm cells should be normal structure, and the 40% of sperm cells should show normal motility. But if less than that normal motility is not showing, for example, 40% is normal motility should be there in the sperm cells, but only 10% motility is there. That type of sperm cannot reproduce or cannot fertilize an egg. So that in that case, low sperm count or any cases, if the husband is not able to produce the sperm, if the husband cannot produce the sperm, then the sperm will be taken from any other man, any other healthy person, and it will be inserted into female reproductive tract. This is called artificial insemination. Artificial insemination. In the artificial insemination, two types. Artificial insemination. In artificial insemination, two types are there. The first one is, if the sperm is inseminated in vagina, that is called IVI. IVI, intravaginal insemination. Intravaginal insemination. Intravaginal insemination. In this case, the sperm is inseminated into vagina. Next one is IUI, intrauterine insemination. Intrauterine insemination. In intrauterine insemination, the sperm is deposited into uterus. That is called intrauterine insemination. If the sperm is deposited into vagina, then it is called intravaginal insemination. Both are called as artificial insemination only. Artificial insemination. In the case of artificial insemination, if the husband cannot produce the sperm normally, or if the husband's sperm count is low, then the sperm will be taken from any other donor, and that sperm will be inserted into female reproductive tract. Then the female will get normal children. This type of artificial insemination is two types. Artificial insemination, what is insemination? Generally, during the process of copulation, the husband will normally release the sperm into the female reproductive tract. But in the case husband is failed to do so, and in that case, this process will be utilized. This process will be utilized. This is IVI, intravaginal insemination. This is IUI. If the sperm taken from a healthy donor is inseminated into vagina, that is called intravaginal insemination. If the sperm is taken from husband is donated into or inseminated into uterus, that is called intrauterine insemination. This is total procedure. But following all these ARTs, it is better to adopt an orphan, because in all these cases, genetic variability will come. Genetic variability, because the genetic variation, because means either husband genetic material or wife genetic material will not be there in the baby. Either both of the parents genetic material will not be there, because the sperm or egg will be taken from some other donors. So in such cases, mostly the husband and wife genetic material may not be there in the babies. So instead of doing these things, it is better to adopt an orphan. Next, colostrum. Now let us see about colostrum. What is colostrum? Colostrum is the thick milk which is produced in the initial days of lactation. The thick milk, yellowish color milk that produced in initial days of lactation. Initial days of lactation is called colostrum. The thick milk which is produced in the initial days of lactation is called colostrum. So this colostrum contains antibodies IgA. So IgA antibodies are mostly present in colostrum. This is very, very important 2 mark question. What is colostrum and what is its significance? Colostrum. What is colostrum? The milk which is produced in initial days of lactation is called colostrum, and it is rich in IgA antibodies.